Hi, this is John, and I'm here with another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about, and we're going to take a look at the Union County September 11th Memorial. Now, this is a memorial, and we're going to see some more steel that came from the 9/11 attacks on September 11th, 2001. So let's go take a look. The memorial begins on this path, and it's pretty nice. It's all wooded area. You walk up the path. It's well done. There's a big park here that you can come and hang out, bring your families. And I was here once before, and it's a beautiful path. So let's check it out. And they did a beautiful job with the landscaping. I mean, it is just fantastic. So here's some literature on it. So this reads, "Welcome to the Union County September 11th Memorial. Kindly be advised to use caution, use the steel girders to avoid injury. Thank you." And Union Board of Freeholders. So you come into this beautiful willow, nice, and so we're greeted with the Statue of Liberty, the Liberty Torch. That was a pretty good walk. So there's a lot of seating here, and what you see is when you first approach, you see two pieces of the girders, which is pretty awesome. Wow, look at that. That's just amazing. You have you have the American flag, the MIA POW flag, and two other flags. I really can't see what they are. So let's read this. This says Berkeley Heights, Scott Hazelcorn, Patrick Murphy, Clark. These are the people who died. From Berkeley Heights, we have Mr. Scott Hazelcorn and Mr. Patrick Murphy. From Clark, we have Mr. James A. Nelson. From Cranford, we have Mr. Dean P. Eberling, Mr. Christopher M. Grady, Robert H. Lynch, Gregory Milakowitz, Thomas N. Regan, Leonard J. Snyder. And from Elizabeth, we have Axela Castillo, Carlos S. Da Costa, Colleen Frazier, Margaret S. Lewis, Frankie Serrano, Anthony Tempesta. And from Kenilworth, we have Robert Colfers and John Tobin. These are the people of Union County who lost their lives. We also have other towns. We have Wanda A. Green from Linden, Mountainside, Anthony Infante from New Providence. We have Gerard J. Capola, Richard A. Dustan, Michael Guglielmella, Robert W. Hobson III, Susan D. Murray, William Tesselpis Jr. And from Rahway, we have Manette Beckles, Mark Carney, Tyrone May. Roselle Park, we have John J. Ulzenhofer. And we have more here. You may not be able to see this. From Scotch Plains, we have Matthew Horning, Mark Rothberg, James Walsh. From Springfield, we have Lee Adler, Joanne L. Brittle. From Summit, we have David B. Brady, Mark Bruce, Thomas R. Clark, James L. Connor, Kevin R. Crotty, Thomas I. Glasser, Robert A. Lawrence, A. Todd Rank, Clive Ian Thompson. Those are from Summit. From Union, this is my town. We have Bella Buchan, Edward Calderon, Wing Wei Ching, Thomas J. Fisher, Brian F. Goldberg, Robert A. Hepburn, Charles Krasuski, Wayne A. Russo, Khalid M. Shahid. From Westfield, we have Andrew J. Almeno, Michael A. Davidson, Stephen M. Fogel, Leo R. Keene II, Richard B. Madden, John Pepe Salerno Jr., C. Wang Shum, and Anthony Starita. And these are potentially people from Flight 93. This is an image of the Pentagon. And the writing on the monument here says, "The Union County dedicates this memorial to the residents of Union County, their families, and all other individuals who lost their lives in the attacks of September 11, 2001. So it goes on with a little bit of the history of it. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the World Trade Center North Tower. It collapsed at 10:29. At 9:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the World Trade Center South Tower. It collapsed at 9:59. At 9:48 a.m., 11 American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon, Washington, D.C. At 10:10 a.m., United Airlines 93 crashed into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. So the sun is kind of giving a reflection off this, but this is how it all looks like. So if you look around, this is how the memorial looks. And let's give a moment of silence for the people who lost their lives in this tragic event in American history. So let's take a look at the girders that actually was part of the World Trade Center. So this is pretty heavy duty stuff. So this could have been like where the windows were attached on this metal. And you can see this is pretty thick. This looks like this is 1/2 inch steel all around. So they must have cut this hole out to attach it in like that. This might have been welded on. And what made these buildings strong is these boxes right here. I mean, they built these, and this is just massive strength. So this is not part of it. This is just something to hold this piece of steel up. And we're gonna look at the other one. Now look how mangled that is. Like, look how this was ripped apart. So check this out. How this was bent. I mean, we really don't know where this came from. There's no information on it. But I hope the sun isn't making it too dark for you guys to see. I can't get on top there to look at the top part. I mean, the steel was just mangled. And this is a little thicker. This looks like this is 5/8 inch. This is like 3/8 of an inch steel. And then it looks like it comes out to 5/8, which is weird. Because, yeah, this was welded on here. You can see, like, this is a weld that welds this to this plate on the side here. And this is attached to this, it looks like.
There's a really big boom.
Oh yeah. But it's still, it's not the thickness of the steel, it's the way they made this box is what gives this piece of this fabricated girder the strength. I mean, this is like strong as can be. So we can see here how it ripped and curled up, and something shred this apart. And these are how they attached the windows, perhaps, or something, or the floors to something like this. Maybe the floors are attached to this. I'm really not too sure. There's some more mangled steel down there. And this one is in really pretty bad shape compared to this one on this side. So this part could have been maybe a floor structure, but I really don't know, because this looks like some kind of an, right here looks like some type of an I-beam, that this was up and it was straight, and you know, it might have went across. And here's something else that's attached to this. Something was welded on here that came out. And there's something says up there like Watterson and Son and Steel Skills, or something written up there. Like the company who made these girders put their names on it. Oh, it says, I really can't read that. Let's see if you can see it. And Son something. But if you guys know what that is, leave a comment below and let us know what that is. It's pretty amazing stuff. I mean, this is going to be here forever, and people need to know about this. The other thing you could say to yourself is that if a plane actually did cause that ripple, that whole rip there, but it didn't bend the entire structure, you know, so how did it rip through the actual steel in the building? You know, to have them, you know, collapse on itself. You know, those are answers that perhaps in the future they might be answered, or they will never be answered, and that all depends on how history takes place in America, on who is actually running the country. So, like this, for instance. So if a plane actually hit this, per se, you can see like that's bent. I know there's a lot of shadow. So it pushed this out, but it didn't actually do any damage to this structure here. So this is enough to hold up a building, because it starts down there, and this down here looks like it was cut. You know, like these are cuts. These aren't from any plane or any fire could have done that. I don't really see any melted steel here. It all looks like it was cut like this and this, and it looks like it was cut with a saw. Like this part here is not broken, this is cut. I can't really take a look at the top, but it all looks like it's been cut. You know, it doesn't look like there's any steel that's been like melted. Like we don't see any melted steel. You know, that could have been bent because of the weight that what fell on it. So it could have bent that. This could have been, you know, where it keeled over at the bottom and something fell on it that was very heavy and just bent the steel. You know, this doesn't even look like it was cut. This was ripped. somehow, if this was like, well, you could see here something like hit this here and caused all that damage, which is pretty interesting. But then you see like that wing is not damaged and it's only in that one spot, but the integrity is still there. So you can actually see, like, if you look at it, I mean, something perhaps could have fell on it, like another piece of steel, and bent that, which is possible. But then again, you know, something hit this and bent that. So it wasn't like you could say, well, the plane crashed into that one particular spot, and how did it bend on this side? I mean, the like aluminum come around and hit that? I don't know. But it doesn't look like it was burnt, because none of that paint looks like it was charred in any way. You could also see like that line that goes along the top there, and that looks like something hit it as well, and it looks like it was another piece of steel. So we don't actually know where this came from. It doesn't really say. Like if you watch my other video, they actually say where where that piece of steel came from. Well, if we take a closer look at this one, you know, this has absolutely no damage. So it looks like the structural integrity of it maintained itself. Now this part here is not steel. This is some kind of metal that they made, or it could be steel. But this is all cut. All this stuff. This is bent. And then if we take a look here, this looks like, you know, looks like it's cut, but these things been here over 10 years, so maybe people touched it, I don't know. You know, even like if you look at this, like you can see that it's cut, and it's cut on the bottom. Okay, I mean, granted, like they cut it in order to mount it to this, but the integrity's still there. You know, and this is, let's take a look at this further back. Get another look at it, how the monument looks like, this park. And let's just give it a moment of silence for the people who lost their lives for this tragic event in American history. I want to thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys want to visit this is in Union County, right off of Route 22. I believe this is Warnaco Park, and it's very nice here. You can bike ride, fish, and come see memorial for Union County, and pay some respect for the people who lost their lives at this tragic event. And I just want to thank you guys, say peace out and God bless.